when you're trying to apply for a job, your ratio of even getting the job that you're applying for is 0 to none. Also, if you have a job, the job market is so bad that your job is overworking you and still paying you the same salary. They're switching up schedules on you, giving you more work, less pay, cutting budgets on you, pretty much jerking you around all around because they know where the job market is. They know even if you're looking for somewhere else to go, that's also going to probably jerk you around, that they could take advantage of you. Right now, it's like employment abuse going on. Like, you literally are underpaid, tired, and stressed out if you have a job. And if you don't have a job, you're stressed out because you can't find a job and you've been applying to over 100 places pretty much a week, or you've been unemployed for more than 2 years trying to find a job. The job market right now is so bad that you're literally getting abused as a human being.
I was on the phone yesterday with a client who said, JT, in my entire life, I have never, ever, ever had a problem getting a job interview. 2 years ago, they were calling me, reaching out to me. My phone was ringing off the hook. Now, when I've been laid off and I'm looking for a job, I can't get a job interview. And this is a very high-level, successful individual. And I sat him down, virtually, of course, and said, it's not your fault. The way that you are looking for work is the reason you are not getting a job interview. And let me break that down for you. We are in what is the worst job market I've seen in 20 years as a job search career coach, even worse than the 2008 recession. And the reason for that is the sheer volume of people looking for work. Don't let the unemployment rate of 3.9% fool you. That does not include all of the people that are underemployed, meaning people who are working side hustles, gigs, part-time, or are just in jobs that are lower than what they want. As a result, so many people are applying to jobs. I mentioned earlier this week, I talked to a VP at a company last week. He had 3,000 applicants for a job in 48 hours. He had to shut it down. So when you apply online, it's gridlock. Think about being in a traffic jam. Doesn't matter if you're the Lamborghini or the Hyundai, you're not getting through. And so I said to him, you applying online is a waste of your time. You need to be able to get a job interview without applying online. And the way you do that is through back channeling. Back channeling is just like it sounds, a different channel, a different road, a different path. And the reason it works so well is that most people won't bother to do it. Or if they do it, they're only going to do it for jobs they really care about. And this is how we diminish the number of people who just apply to random jobs. See, the online system's broken. We made it too easy. It's like the easy apply button so that people just apply for everything. And now companies can't handle getting 3,000 applicants. But back channeling is a way to streamline it so that the right people get in touch with the right companies.
I'm ugly crying right now because I have not made any money at all, and unemployment still hasn't paid me. And I've had a couple people interested in taking my apartment, but then they just fell through last second, and I'm like, we're days away from July 1st, and I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna pay rent. I had no idea, and I've had half of it.
A homeless college graduate is now on month 7 of living in hostels and shelters because she can't find a job. Dominique, known as Dominique Engineer on TikTok, is a 25-year-old graduate of the University of Michigan, and her degree was supposed to land her a good job in the software engineering field. But that hasn't been her experience at all. She's ready to work full-time, but just isn't getting anywhere. Between May and September of last year, she applied to almost 300 jobs. Engineering is her passion, and she's got a great background, but she's found that the market is simply saturated. She fears she's now trapped in the cycle of poverty and worries she'll never find her way out. Without a job, of course, she can't lift herself out of poverty and can't find a place to live. But without a permanent address, she can't even apply for many jobs. And around we go. And while many were sympathetic to her story, her video also inspired a lot of backlash that highlighted just how poorly understood poverty and homelessness really are. Many scolded her to simply take any job she can get, but without a living wage, she won't be able to support herself, and it would preclude her from applying to jobs in her field that would pay a livable wage. It illustrates a commonly misunderstood problem. When you're truly in the depths of crisis, a minimum wage job isn't really a solution. People also criticized her for having her hair done and owning a cell phone, both of which are essential to her finding a job. She's generally tired of people telling her to do more when she's doing everything she can, especially since she's also struggling with her mental health because of how taxing homelessness and food insecurity are. But crucially, she's not giving up. Rather than accept defeat, Dominique is using her platform to ask for help and advice on how to keep moving forward. From job recommendations and networking connections hands, as well as a GoFundMe where people are helping her out. Hopefully, with fortitude and some more helping hands, she can have better luck in 2024, because nobody should have to work this hard to find a stable life.
I never thought I would be 36 years old with, undergraduate degree from a UC school and a master's degree and legitimately unemployable. Yes, I slowed down my career in real estate the last 6 years to raise my kids, and that seems like I'm now, it doesn't matter. And I know that I took time off and that's on me, but it shouldn't mean that I can't even get a job anywhere. Why did I go to school? Why did I try so hard through high school to get into a good college? And then I worked my ass off in graduate school because I really enjoyed what I was finally learning, and basically all to be told, I should have done something else.
All right, so you have seen the videos. So many people are stressed out either from having a job and being overworked, or not having a job and having such a struggle to find work and jumping through hoops in order to be told that they were not selected for a job. I said this in the last video. This is the worst job market that I have seen in my lifetime. And then you see a lady who's saying this is the worst job market in 20 years. And we have to keep in mind, as she was saying, unemployment does not count in the fact of people that are underemployed and working multiple side gigs. And it's very manipulated, right? And so we talked about that before, but especially right now, you cannot just apply and pray. Y'all know that I've given tips in the past about how to look for a job. And this is probably one of the hardest times where you cannot just apply and expect to get a response back. Great if you are, but it's unfortunate to say, but you really do have to connect with someone, even multiple people working a job that you are wanting to join, and gain referrals, or really making yourself stand out to where recruiters can seek you out and find work. That's how I found a job. Now, the other thing we have to talk about are the layoffs. More people are unemployed. There is homelessness, and you saw that story where folks are literally struggling and they have degrees, high skills. They're working in engineering and tech, and they're even struggling to find relevant jobs. And I will say, to the earlier speaker's point, taking any job can be worse. It can be worse than gaining unemployment if you're paid less than the unemployment payouts. I actually had to deal with that this year, which I can talk about in another video. But when folks are laid off, it also really takes a toll on mental health, and more needs to be talked about with this because it gets really real. So if you know someone that has been laid off, check up on them. Make sure they're not just being, lonely and off to themselves, because they may be actually depressed. So please check in with them. Working moms is something that was highlighted in a video here. And I will say, taking breaks hurts anybody, but especially working moms. It can be challenging to get back to the workplace, which I know is not right. But there are different organizations that can help, and staffing agencies that really focus on getting women back into the workforce after they've taken breaks. And they partner with really large companies typically. So organizations like Path Forward or the Mom Project or Women Back to Work or WBW, these are organizations or staffing firms that really focus and have partnerships with companies to get women back to work. Now, I hate to see people struggling. We really are in an employer market right now. So this is where employers can take advantage of a higher supply of workers. And this is why during the few times where it's been an employee market, you really have to take advantage to gain more compensation and benefits. We've talked about this before. You have to save for times like this, which actually are more common. But I know it's tough. I know many have not even been given an opportunity to get started, or, you have to start somewhere so that you can save for times like this. But it is tough. Then there are other people that have the good times, they're making a lot of money, and they just spend like crazy. I know. like crazy may mean different things for different folks, but overspending and not setting aside things for a rainy day. We have to remember this market because this will be over at some point, right? And we'll be back into an employee market again where employees are thriving. They have the reins now. But just keep in mind times like this because there are more times where the employers have the market. Now, let me know what you think about some of the stories you've heard here. Of course, support the folks on TikTok and go follow them and support them and pour into them. I just highlighted some clips of the stories here because I really think it shows what's really happening, especially for folks that are in cushy jobs. They don't know what, stresses people are having out here. They have no idea. Well, this is your idea what's happening. So I do encourage you to check up on your friends, check up on colleagues. If you have colleagues that have been laid off, lend a helping hand. It could be offering referrals, it could be offering your network, it could be sharing jobs to them. But I will say, I would lend more on sharing your network and giving public referrals and sharing them out versus just sending a bunch of jobs. I will say, while I was laid off, that it was nice to know that people were thinking about me, but it didn't really help me because, to the point earlier, you apply and you hear nothing. The job that I actually gained was not from applying. I actually didn't apply. The job offers I received this year have been recruiters reaching out to me. This is why I say you have to stand out and you have to connect with people and gain referrals. Anyway, I can talk about that stuff in another video. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to y'all later.
I just want a job. Like, I can write a report, I can put together a PowerPoint, I can talk to people, I can motivate people, I can come up with a bunch of different ideas. I don't want to have to hustle every damn time. I want the security of having, just being able to pay my mortgage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You want somebody who is going to be here. Like, girl, I just want security. I'm going to do whatever the fuck you need me to do. And trying to convince people that I can do basic things with 13 years of fucking fashion design on my resume is hard as shit. I am getting very frustrated. And like, the only other option is freelancing. But then you have to hunt down people and find more freelance gigs to be consistent. And so I'm fucking tired.